Welcome everyone to TVOSJ, and let me get this on. Okay, it's going to start recording now. Okay, welcome everyone to TVOSJ, the voice of San Joaquin, right here off the Miracle Mile in Stockton, California. And I want to make sure also that Facebook is running. Okay, guys, welcome. It is the Chase Car Guys time.
Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Rick Pulaski. I'm the host for tonight. My compadre, Mr. Morales, is out doing a thing for the Lions football All-Star game that's coming up in June, so he will not be with us tonight. But I'm very happy to have a friend of mine that I've known since the 80s. He's the executive director of First Tee of San Joaquin, Mr. Don. Don, tell her.
How you doing, Rick?
Don Miller, ladies and gentlemen. He's with us tonight. As you know, the Chase Chevrolet family does a lot with the community, and we do stuff with First Tee. So Roy thought it'd be a great topic for us to talk about their program and such. So let's get to it. We are going to have an abbreviated show tonight because we're so busy at this radio station, they double booked us. So we're going to run about 35, 40 minutes, and then we're going to get out and let the other people in here because they got a cooking show following us. So if you want to stay tuned and watch that one, Mrs. Tobias will be in here, Chef Tobias. It'll be a good night. Anyhow, getting back to what we're here for, Don, talk about a little bit about yourself and your background. I've known you since the ports, which is a long time ago, and then how this thing all came to fruition.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Rick. It's a pleasure of mine to be here and see you again. My background, I've been living in the Stockton, Lodi area for, almost 40 years now. Time flies. Yeah. I'm an East Coast guy. You and I were just talking about hockey. I'm a hockey guy along with baseball and a hacker golfer like we all are. Yeah. But, grew up on the East Coast in New Jersey, came out to California in 82, 83.
And you're a Flyers fan? And
of course, the Flyers.
The Devils, man. Anyhow, go ahead.
But... No, it's been great to be out here. I've had almost every job I've had has been involved with sports, which is I'm really fortunate. And you mentioned the Stockton Ports. I was the general manager there for 5 years. Our good friend Dan Chapman was my assistant at the time. A lot of good times, a lot of laughs together. And then from there, went into a few different occupations, a scoreboard company for about 10 years, and then started the Stockton Sports Commission, ran that for 13 years of its existence for the city of Stockton. It was a lot of fun. Had the opportunity to work with many different agencies.
Did you ever work with Itch Horton?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to see him a week or so at the barbershop. Great to see him again.
Yeah. We hosted a lot of national softball tournaments and, the state wrestling that used to be in Stockton and on and on and on. It was a lot of fun. And then I got involved with the junior golf program called the First Tee, and reaching families and kids at the time that never had a chance to, step onto a golf course and experience that green grass. And I was on the board and for a year or two, and then lo and behold, they needed someone to take over and be executive director, and I jumped at it. And I'm never been happier. It's a dream job, not only to stay in sports, work in the golf industry, but work with great kids and families. They're all fantastic to work with, and we're reaching kids all over the community, all over the county, and having a ball with it.
And Roy left me a plethora of questions for you, so we hope we don't get too boring, but and I won't say like Roy does, so we should get through this as quick as we can. And you just talked about the First Tee program and how it got developed, which was good. And then what age groups are the kids?
Sure. The First Tee is a national organization, first of all. It's based in Florida. It's been around for almost 22 years now. We've had a chapter in Stockton for over almost 14 years now. And I've been the executive director for 10 years. We started off as a junior golf program called the San Joaquin Junior Golf Foundation, mainly to reach kids in underprivileged areas. And then we became a chapter of the First Tee National Program, like I said, 14 years ago. And it's really opened up a lot of doors. You see it a lot on television, the Golf Channel, golf tournaments. You always see the commercials for the First Tee. And we're reaching kids ages 5 to 17 years old.
So if you're a novice, that's what you like? I mean, is that your cup of tea to train kids from the basics, or?
Yeah, we start with the basics. The First Tee is a golf program, first of all,
Right.
but we integrate things like 9 core values, like respect and honesty and sportsmanship, things that will help these kids progress in school and in college and in the rest of their lives. And we also work with them on life skills and things like that. So golf is the vehicle that teaches these other things.
It's amazing you say that, because Roy and I have had guests on our program before. The community table was the one we did 2 weeks ago, and it's all about the youth and getting them the core values that you just spoke about.
Yeah.
I think that's important for any program. I know when I do the hockey show, we talk about that. We're trying to make good young men out of these people
Right.
that come in through our doorway and go on. Oh, hey, we got a new visitor. Come on in. Introduce your guest here.
He's my right hand man here. Actually, he's on my left today.
Yeah,
but he's my right hand man, Chris Borrego. Chris is our program director for the First Tee. He handles running the program for all the kids, oversees the volunteer coaches, and does a heck of a job getting it all together and keeping it together.
Chris, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We got started a little early tonight because I had a double booking here, so we're going to get home quicker. That's all. So, Chris, tell us a little bit about your background and how you came involved with the program.
I've been a golf professional at different clubs since longer than I'd like to admit. And gosh, I think it was around 2013 I was working at Greenhorn Creek Golf Club in Angels Camp, and Don happened to know the general manager. I didn't even know Don at that point. I said, hey, maybe we should try First Tee up here. And so we did, and it took off. We wound up, having a junior program of about 40 kids up there. And then after a couple of years, Don had an opening, and he said, hey, how'd you like to come work for us? So
That's how
they twisted my arm.
What is your daily routine? I know Don's is coming to Chase. No, I'm only kidding.
Bringing donuts.
Bringing donuts and pizza or whatever else you bring. But what is your day-to-day type thing with First Tee?
Well, it definitely depends on the day, but we work with national and coach training, and kind of always trying to stay up to date on everything going on in the youth golf industry. And then come weekday afternoons, we got classes with One TLC School or the Children's Home, Mickey Grove on weekday afternoons, and Saturdays are big day where we have our other morning classes at up to 100 kids at the reserve on Saturday mornings.
I was just going to ask you, what golf courses do you guys use here locally?
Yeah, we're 4 locations now. The reserve at Spanos Park, Swenson Park, Mickey Grove Golf Course, and Greenhorn Creek up at Angels Camp.
So you're out and about.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
they
it
say.
keeps us hopping.
One of the questions Roy wanted me to ask you was, what challenges do you guys face to keep going? I mean, obviously you can get a plethora of kids to come and sign up, but it takes money, obviously, funds. So how do you guys go about doing that? Is it all donation? You tell us.
Yeah, we're a 501c3 nonprofit,
Right.
So there's a lot of standards and things you have to abide by with the IRS and on. And there's a lot of expense, with equipment and some staffing and just insurance. Don't talk about insurance. But anyway, there's a lot of expense. So we're out there begging and knocking on doors, raising money through golf tournaments and raffles and any way people can donate. We have our hand out.
So it's all donation based.
Exactly.
I got you.
Exactly.
Wow, you got a big job.
Yeah, I mean, we don't receive, state or federal funding. We go after grants.
Right.
Fortunately, there's companies like Chase Chevrolet and many, many others in the community that help us out.
So you said equipment. Do you provide the equipment for the young men and women to do this?
Yeah, we have equipment that they could use while they're there for the
Right.
classes. There's a lot of that is donated. Some we have to purchase.
Right.
There's a lot of training type stuff that we use to make it fun for the kids.
Right.
So there's an expense there.
Right. Well, that's good. I think, like I said, anything to help youth out in the area is a good thing for all of us. I mean, I think we have to develop those core factors that you talked about earlier into youth because, like I was talking about, Community Table, they outreach and they do after-school programs. And I asked them, I said, once you get to high school, now we're talking about something other than golf a little bit here, but once you get to high school, they either in the program or they're out. In other words, they want to proceed in their education and whatever they might be as a commuter, but they could also go the other way where they just let me out of school and do my thing. So it's good that we're after the youth. I think that's a big thing.
We've had a lot of success stories as kids progress in the program. They attain different goals and have different opportunities to attend. And Chris can probably speak on that better than me with some of our star pupils that have really progressed through the program and excelled in attaining many goals.
Give us a couple examples, Chris, of that.
Well, one thing that the kids can do as they reach the high school age is there's a National Life Skill and Leadership Academy that's probably equal golf fundamentals and golf to leadership. We had two girls go last year, Lauren Garces from Lincoln High and Olivia Fonseca from Bret Hart High School in Angels Camp. And they spend a week at Boise State living like college students. And doing the program, which involves golf, leadership activities, team building activities, and that's one of the biggest things that we can offer to these high school kids, and everything's covered through First Tee National.
Wow,
when the
that's
kids do
big.
apply.
Yeah.
That's big because there's obviously expense there. I know from the hockey aspect of what you're doing, it's not cheap to do it, and I know it's offered free to your people that join. So that's big. Now, how many of those clinics do we have a year? I mean, here in Saga, you have one. You run it for a couple of months, or
Well, a typical Saturday, just for a Saturday, we have 3 different classes at the Reserve that involves up to 120 kids.
wow,
Swenson Park, we have another 3 classes that involves up to about 80 or 85 kids. Those are a little bit more of the older kids.
Right.
Greenhorn Creek's going to have about 30 kids on a Saturday.
and so every Saturday you have a clinic.
Yeah,
that you-
we run 3 tours, they're called, a year. We do a spring, summer, and fall. We do a winter program more for the advanced kids.
Right.
But we start up in the spring. March 21st is our start date.
Wow, you're coming up on that pretty quick.
Yeah, and we have a fee. It's a nominal fee because it's a 9-week program. Each one 9 weeks in the spring, summer,
and
and fall.
it's every Saturday.
Every Saturday
Or
or
every
Wednesday.
Wednesday
for
Wednesday at
Mickey
Mickey Grove.
Right.
And it's $70 to join
Right.
for 9 weeks, and they get a first tee golf cap included with the cost. Now, if there's families and there's many of those that can't afford, sending their kids,
Right.
we give them what we call a golfership. We waive their fee,
Oh,
no
that's
questions
good.
asked, and we want every kid to participate and not turn anybody down.
Right. Well,
So-
that's great. That's really good for the people out there that want to get their young people involved in something. It gives them an avenue. We do in hockey, and I know all I can do is relate to hockey because that's what I'm involved in. But we do hockey for free,
Yeah.
and they provide the skates and not so much hockey equipment, but get them out there and see if they like it, and then they move them from there. So,
We've done that many times with kids and that are kind of unsure whether they want to get involved, and the
Right.
parents are not sure if they
Right.
want to make that 9-week commitment.
Right.
We'll invite them out. Hey, just come out and try it out,
Right.
and they fall in love with it.
Well, sure they do. Yeah, being outdoors. What's not to fall in love with?
Yeah.
Right?
And then even beyond that, we're in the Linden School District after school program. They have our program going there. John R. Williams has a program, First Tee, in their PE class.
Wow.
And we also work with the Children's Home of Stockton and the Housing Authority
Wow.
as well. They come out on it depends,
Yeah.
Tuesday or Thursday, depending on what fits in their schedule.
So if people are listening and they want to get involved in your program, I know you just said March 21st, but how do they get involved? Is there a website to
Yeah,
go to?
it's
or-
real easy. The First Tee of San Joaquin. You can register online, pay online, all your questions should be answered on the website. If not, Chris's phone number is on there. My phone number is on there. We're fielding calls all the time. It's starting to get to that exciting time in spring. We're already getting phone calls. But just go to the First Tee of San Joaquin website, and right on there you can
Type
register.
it in your Google search and
Yeah.
it'll come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a great program for our community and Stockton in general. I know we're up at Angels Camp as well, but it's good to see. And like you've been around for 14 years, so it's not something that we decided last week to get
Yeah.
involved in, right? So
Yeah.
it's been there. It's got good roots. You're a good person. I know that personally. I don't know Chris as well as you, but if you like him, he's my buddy too. Let's see.
I also want to just add that some of the opportunities that Chris mentioned, and then one step further, any kid that's in our program, they're planning on going to college, we have a scholarship fund. We've given out over a dozen scholarships in the last 4 or 5 years.
to college.
To college, yeah.
Wow.
And so that's been really rewarding. We have donors that will donate specifically to the scholarship fund
Right.
to help these kids out. So we have a lot of great kids applying.
And one of the guys I work with at work went to UOP and played on the golf team, Brian Bazzini.
Okay.
Another Bazzini?
Yeah,
There's a
well,
lot
he's
of those
related
guys.
to the
George.
George,
Related-
yeah, that's
yeah.
his father.
Okay.
Yeah. So he hasn't played in 100 years, but he said, I just had to quit because I'm too competitive and didn't have the time. He's got grown kids. I remember when they were born.
Well, his
Sonny.
younger brother Tim runs Ripon Golf
Right, that's
Center.
theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And George started that, by the way.
George is down in the desert now. He's enjoying
Yeah. Yeah, he's-
life.
Yeah, you're right. He is.
Yeah.
That's true. Absolutely correct. Let's see. When can people meet and greet the players and that type of thing? That's what Roy put down here. So
Well, any Saturday, and if you get on our website, you can see the things. But anytime anybody wants to come out and just observe the program, they're certainly welcome.
right. So if you're not doing this, what time does it start? Like 9 o'clock?
8:30.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got to get up early. No,
Yeah.
that's not too
It's
early.
about 8:30 to 10:45 at the reserve,
Yeah.
and 8:30 to 11:30 at Swenson
So
on
if
Saturdays.
if your young person wants to try this and go out there and they're a little hesitant, they come out and just observe, right?
Absolutely.
And then if they say, yeah, it's something I want to do, then they can see whoever's on site and sign up for it.
Rick, I'll tell you, it's early in the morning sometimes, but these kids, I'd say a great number of them are up before their parents because they're anxious to come out to our program.
Well,
They are
that's a
raring
good
to go.
thing. That's good.
Yeah, it's awesome. So
Yep. It's the same way in what I do. I mean, they practice at 6 in the morning a couple times a week just to get the blood flowing, So it's all good. It says, tell us about special events available for kids to participate in the First Tee program Pebble Beach event.
yeah, I'll let Chris talk about that.
So that is an event on the PGA Tour Champions, where they pair a Champions Tour professional with one of the First Tee kids. 78 First Tee kids from all around the country
Wow.
are invited to play in that. They have to go through an application process to get in. And then they play each of the courses, Poppy Hills and Pebble Beach, and then there's a cut. And the top 25 pro junior teams get a play on Sunday out there. Of course, all the PGA Tour Champions professionals are playing
Right.
on Sunday, even if their amateur team didn't make it.
Well, that's great, man. That's a great opportunity. It's a nice.
Yeah.
You probably shoot how many under out there, Don?
No. I'm not picking up a club as often as I used to.
Yeah.
Chris is the one.
We've been lucky to have, this year we had Lauren Garces from Lincoln High School play. Year before we had William Bench and Skylar May from St. Mary's, as well as Christopher Kahn from Lincoln High, all play that year.
Wow.
Year before that, Anitra Koth from Lincoln High. Year before that, Madeline Zanino from Lincoln High. So
Wow.
Lincoln High 3, St. Mary's 2.
Yeah.
So St. Mary's got about 2 kids though that are have a chance to apply here in the next couple of years. Maybe they can catch up to Lincoln High.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, like I said, it always warms my heart when we're doing something right with the kids. You hear so much of the negative stuff,
Right.
Of course, that's what allegedly sells papers and news. But anyhow, that's another subject for another day.
I just wanted to add one last thing. I
Sure.
know we're running short of time here, but we're a volunteer-based program. We have a couple staff folks, but it's all volunteer-based. Our coaches and volunteers that come out, they're giving their time every Saturday. So we're always looking for volunteer coaches, and they don't have to be professional golfers. They don't have to.
Listen,
be,
Roy, he's talking to you,
Yeah.
Roy Morales, who no-showed us tonight.
But we could always we always invite more folks to come out and volunteer and mentor and coach the kids.
Do you have anything other than your opening day coming up that you want to talk about? No?
Not really.
No, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna wind up having a parent junior tournament in the spring. We just don't have a date yet
Okay.
for that. And also one other thing that First Tee National is doing this year is a First Tee National Championship. It's going to
Wow.
be held. It's be a 54-hole tournament at Clemson University.
Wow.
Every chapter can invite or can have up to 5 kids apply. That doesn't mean they're going to get in.
Right.
They're going to pick 72 kids from nationwide. So
Right.
we're going to have our
Now-
5 kids apply and see what happens.
Now, when they apply for that, I know in my world, when you get to do something like that, you have to have good grades as well. Is that any prerequisite for
It's
you guys?
the application process for all First Tee things is, of course, it's golf centric, but
Sure.
they have to be involved in the community grades. They write essays to get into any national program, so it's graded many ways.
All right, guys. Any last
Hey, you
Work
can
us out,
keep
I
up.
think.
You can keep up with us on Twitter and Facebook. The First Tee of San Joaquin. That's a good communicator for us to keep up to date what's going on.
Hey, thanks a lot. We got an abbreviated show tonight. They're giving us the wrap-up single here. We want to thank Betty Ramirez for engineering the board for us
No
tonight.
problem.
I want to thank both of you guys for coming in and spending a little bit of quality time with us. We'll be back on the air on, I believe it's February 5th. Tune in. I have a show next week. Tune in. We're going to have a good show. I think we have the lady that runs the Stockton Arena with us, Kendra
All right.
Clark. So tune in. Guys, enjoyed the show. Have a good evening. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Good night, everybody.